What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The focus on this video is going to be on the different weapons from the Menagerie. We're going to talk about all the new weapons you can get from that game mode, how to get them, what are the curated versions, and what are some perks you might want to look for if you're not able to get that curated version. Before we jump into this, so if the video is at all helpful, please make sure you hit that like button. Even better, guys, I would be super appreciative if you could subscribe. I love making videos here on YouTube. I love doing live streams here on YouTube and would love to see you guys come back and hang out for future content. With that said, we'll jump right into it. Right now, I am on the Imperial Barge. This is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time during this season. So make sure you buy a bunch of the chests here. These do cost you 5,000 each. I've bought every single one already, but those will give you Imperials, which you need to upgrade your chalice, and they'll give you runes, which you need to get the weapons at the end of the Menagerie. Likewise, always visit our buddy here, Warner99. He is the new NPC for Opulence, and he will give you a variety of cool stuff. So whether it be bounties, buy those to get Imperials. They'll give you runes as well. Make sure you always pick up the Wealth of the Emperor. There's a limit, but always buy the max. And have rune finders because you want to be able to get a lot of runes here to get the weapons and the rolls that you want from the Menagerie. So with that said, what are the weapons you can get from the Menagerie? Well, there are 7 new weapons you can get at this particular time, and we're going to focus on these one by one. So first up is in the kinetic weapon slot, it's a hand cannon. This is the Allstringer hand cannon, and not the best weapon to use here against this Storm Minotaur, but it is a pretty cool weapon to get because it does have some pretty interesting perks on it. Once we take this guy down, we can look at it in more detail. So this weapon here is a kinetic hand cannon, and the version I have right here has Outlaw and Demolitionist. Now the curated version for this has Outlaw and Rangefinder, and we all know that Outlaw and Rampage is always a good combination. So if you're not able to get the curated, and if you're not able to get Outlaw Rampage, then Outlaw Demolitionist might be a good consolation prize because this perk is pretty neat. It will help you improve your grenade energy. So pretty cool weapon, pretty cool perk combination. And the real question is, how do you get it? So let's take a look at our chalice. This is what's going to govern a lot of what we do in the Menagerie. So we'll open that up. It's in our Pursuits tab. The key thing here before we jump into that is make sure you unlock Power and Efficiency 2 first. I know some people jumped into their runes or into their rune bonus right away. Get Power and Efficiency 2 first and then focus on everything else because this is going to give you more Imperials in the long run. Once you have that done, you can focus on opening up rune compatibility and all that other good stuff. But let's take a look here at Allstringer. To get that, you have to have green runes unlocked. Green runes are from Rune Compatibility 2, I believe. Yes, Rune Compatibility 2. So to get the Allstringer, you need to have a Rune of Desire on the very top slot. And then on the left-hand side, it can be any red rune. Doesn't matter which one, any red. So Allstringer is Rune of Desire, any red rune. That will guarantee that you get the Allstringer at the end of the Menagerie. So this is how you get the hand cannon. Pretty cool weapon. I haven't tried this out in Crucible yet, so if you have used it there, let me know what you think of this so far in PvP. But that's not the only weapon you can get for the kinetics. You can also get a pretty cool shotgun, and we're going to look at that one next. So the shotgun you can get is the Imperial Decree. Now, this weapon here, the roll I have is actually pretty terrible. Mine has full auto system and auto loading holster. So honestly, probably the worst combination I could ever get. But the curated version for this is actually very, very good because that comes with Grave Robber and Trench Barrel, which is pretty much a carbon copy of the Scourge of the Path shotgun threat level. Not only that, you can also get this to have threat level, or you can have Threat Detector and Trench Barrel, and that's pretty much a copy of the Aikilos. So this weapon can be very, very good. Depending on if you're going to use this for PvP or PvE, you may want to have one that has full choke, but focus on getting one that either is a curated version or mimics the curated version. How do you get it? Well, we have to go back to our Pursuits tab, and we want to make sure we're looking at our chalice once again. So let's open that up. And to get the Imperial Decree, you want to have a Rune of Wealth. Now this is a blue rune. Blue runes are unlocked from Rune Compatibility 3, so you're going to need a lot of Imperials to get all those unlocked. So we need to have Rune of Wealth on the very top, and then we want to have any green rune. Doesn't matter which one. Always choose the one you have the most of. Any green rune will do, but this combination here, Wealth up top, green on the left, that will give us the Imperial Decree shotgun. So those are the two new kinetic weapons that you can get from the Menagerie. But there are other ones you can get too, and some of those are in the energy weapon slot. So let's take a look at those. The first one being the Calus's Mini Tool. This is a weapon you may have seen in the trailer for Season of Opulence. Now, this weapon is best paired with the Mida Multi-Tool. It's just like the Mida Mini Tool. But even though it's just like it, it is still not that great. So this is one here where, yeah, get all of them because getting all the weapons will give you a triumph. But this is a weapon that you're not really going to be using much, in my opinion, in PvE or PvP. But nonetheless, we'll take a look at what it can have. So, the Calus's Mini Tool. This curated version actually will have the Eye of the Storm and the Underdog perk. Both of those they work in conjunction. As your magazines get lower, you have better handling, etc. The curated version, in my opinion, is not the best one to get though. This version I have right here has Slideways and Surrounded. I feel like that would be pretty good. Slideways and Tap the Trigger are going to be pretty good. But again, this is not the best weapon. In my opinion, it's probably actually the worst weapon from Season of Opulence. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong and giving you guys a bad impression of it. But how do you get it? So we'll take a look at our Chalice once again. Now, to get Calus's Mini Tool, you need to have a Rune of the Beast on the very top. So this will give you a submachine gun. And then on the left side, any purple rune will do. So it doesn't matter which one I choose, any purple one, as long as I have this combination, that's going to give me Calus's Mini Tool. So there's a submachine gun from the Menagerie. There are other energy weapons though, and let's take a look at the very next one, which is the beloved Sniper Rifle. Now, this is actually one of the better weapons you can get from the Menagerie. This weapon here can have the No Distractions perk, which will reduce the amount of flinch that you have when you're getting shot at. That's always the thing that hurts snipers the most in Destiny 2 is flinch, so the fact that this weapon can have that is pretty amazing. Now, the curated version for Beloved will have No Distractions, and it'll have boxed breathing. But anytime you can get a weapon here that has No Distractions, that's what you want to aim for this weapon. Unfortunately, you cannot have No Distractions and Snapshot Sights. That would be absolutely amazing, but you can't have that perk combination. So I would say No Distractions and anything else is awesome. Maybe Quick Draw, maybe Rampage, maybe Box Breathing like the curated version. All of those are going to suit you well. The question then becomes, how do you get it? So let's take a look at our Chalice once again. And I will post a link in the description and give you guys exact combinations if you want to look at that instead. So for this, you want to have a Rune of Jubilation at the very top. And then you want to have any red rune here on the left-hand side. Doesn't matter which one. Any red one here is going to give it to you. So Jubilation up top, any red rune. You complete Menagerie, open the chest. And there you have it. You'll have the beloved Sniper Rifle. So this is an awesome weapon. Actually, it might be one of the best weapons. I've gotten wrecked by this thing in Crucible because of that perk. So those are the first two weapons, but there's also two more, a sidearm and a fusion rifle. Let's take a look at the fusion rifle first. So we'll take a look here in a second. We have the Epicurean fusion rifle. Now, this weapon here is pretty interesting. It looks pretty cool. All these have that, Baroque, rusted feel to them a little bit, like they've been sitting in the vault for too long. But this weapon's pretty awesome. I like the way it looks. I like the red dot sight for it. Cool weapon. But what are the perks? Well, the curated version for this has backup plan. Just like any fusion rifle, you want to make sure you have a second perk here being backup plan. That's always going to work. It also pairs that with Tap the Trigger. So Tap the Trigger, backup plan will be the curated version. The one I have here, not that great. I would recommend having Quick Draw for this perk slot and then backup plan here. That would be good. Obviously the curated version is awesome. Anything that has the accelerated coils is going to be good because you want to reduce that charge time. That's going to make this thing awesome to use in PvP. The question then becomes, how do you get it? So let's take a look at the pursuits. And we want to look at our Chalice once again. So to get Epicurean, you want to have a Rune of Excess. Now that's a blue rune. So again, to get the blue runes, you need to have Rune Compatibility 3. But you want to have a Rune of Excess. And then, and then any green rune on the side. That's going to give us the Epicurean fusion rifle. this is how you get it. XS up top, any green left, you do that, and you will have this sweet, sweet weapon. So this is one of the cooler weapons. I think you may see more people using this in Crucible once it becomes available, or once more people have Rune Compatibility 3. So that is the Fusion Rifle. There is one more weapon in the energy weapon slot, and that is the Baroque version of Drang, the sidearm. So we'll take a look at this. The version I have has Disruption Break and Snapshot Sights, so that's a pretty interesting combination, the fact this can have it. This can even roll with the Disruption Break and Shield Historian, kind of like the Jotun Fusion Rifle. It can have that perk combination on it, which is pretty interesting. Now, I'm not much of a sidearm user, so I really want to get people to comment down below what you should be looking for sidearms, particularly for Crucible, because I find these would be much more useful in PvP. What does the curated version have? Well, the curated version of this has Quick Draw and Rampage, so kind of interesting, right? It's pretty weird. Me personally, I would go for Disruption Break and then Swashbuckler. You just saw that active on the Fusion Rifle I just had, but that could make this a pretty formidable weapon to use. But again, I want to hear what people have to say in the comments section about what you should be looking for this, because I imagine it may be okay to use in Crucible. Obviously, you could still pair this with the Sturm Exotic Hand Cannon. So, how do you get the Baroque version of Drang? So let's take a look at the pursuits. And this is the last energy weapon. After this, we have one more, and that's a power weapon. So, how do you get Drang? Well, to get this, you want to use a Rune of Pride. Now, the Rune of Pride is somewhere around here. It is a green rune, so this is a Rune Compatibility 2. You want to have a Rune of Pride at the very top, and then you want to have any purple rune here on the left-hand side. That's going to give you what you really want to get. So there you go, Rune of Pride up top, any purple on the left, and you will find yourself to be the proud owner of the Baroque version of Drang. So, with that said, there is one last weapon, and this might be the best weapon from this activity, because it is pretty awesome and it can have a very unique combination of perks for a machine gun. You can see here that Fixed Odds is a heavy machine gun. It actually has a very low rate of fire, 360 rounds per minute, and we'll look at that in 1 second. But my version here has no distractions and tap the trigger. I feel like this would dominate in PvP. The curated version of this has Feeding Frenzy and Rampage, but I feel like this version might be even better than that, especially pairing it with high caliber rounds. This is going to cause flinch to enemies, you're going to receive less flinch, and the first couple of shots you fire are going to have increased stability. So this version here might be pretty awesome to use. The only downside is if I want to go with this perk, I want to lose a lot of range, but it has a lot of range to begin with. So this is a pretty awesome weapon I have right here. Reload speed is a good masterwork to have for it, because that's going to help out augment the fact that this doesn't have a pretty big magazine size. This is a nice combination of perks here. How do you get the Fixed Odds machine gun? Let's take a look at the pursuits. Actually, let's stop getting shot here by the servitor. Actually, let's shoot the servitor.
There's that servitor again.
So you can see this thing's jumping around like crazy. Maybe having stability on this might be better than reload speed. As I play with it a bit more, that might be a bit better to have. Love the red dot sights, by the way. How do you get it though? Well, we want to go to our chalice once again. The menus here load too slow. Alright, so what about the fixed odds machine gun? So to get this, you want to have a Rune of Ambition. That's a power rune. We apply that to the very top. And then any blue rune on the side here is going to work. So it doesn't matter which one, any blue rune. So to get fixed odds, you're going to have Rune Compatibility 3. That's what's going to let you get this. Now, once you have the Masterwork undone, you can always put a different Masterwork perk that you're looking for, and that will increase your odds of getting the curated version of these weapons. So, Fixed Odds is a heavy machine gun. I suspect that this will do a lot of damage in Crucible. Now, the only thing about this is it'll take a while to get used to the low rate of fire. I mean, you see this thing firing, and it's a super slow rate of fire compared to other machine guns. So weapons like Hammerhead, for instance, are 450. A weapon like the 21 Delirium, that's a 900 round per minute weapon. So this is a much slower rate of fire, but I think the fact that it can have no distractions makes this a really cool weapon to have from the Menagerie. So this was, I wanted to go over just how to get these weapons. I wanted to show the weapons too in action because, quite frankly, I think a lot of people maybe don't have these just yet. So I wanted to actually show these weapons and then give an idea of how to get them, the curated versions, the perks that they have. Let me know in the comments below what you are liking most about the Menagerie, whether it be the fact that you can get the chest multiple times, whether it be the different weapons you can get from it, or just the game mode itself. It's actually pretty fun. I like to play it. So if you guys are on PS4, hit me up there. Pause or set play. Always send a friend request. Be happy to have you guys jump into some Menagerie or whatever you want to play. As always, though, thank you so much for watching. We will catch up soon. Best of luck with these weapons, and have a good rest of your day. See you guys.